But unfortunately, with artificial intelligence coming and replacing more and more people,
Yeah,
soon Uber drivers will be out of jobs too. You
because of
go,
Tesla and all these other ones that are creating, yeah.
yeah, driverless cars. So all the truck drivers and all this, they're out of work.
Which is the biggest category of employment in the USA, that
See, right now in America, Wall Street is robbing the pensions
pension funds.
of the school teachers, the firefighter, and police officers. So there's going to be millions of people like me, my age, who they got a job, they work hard, they save money, they got out of debt, and they put the money in a pension plan, and it's all gone.
And for those people, it's very unfortunate.
That creates poor people. It's a hypnosis train going through your brain. So when people say, how do I change my life? Well, you change those words. I wouldn't go to school because you learn nothing about money in school. I wouldn't get a job because if I have a job, I'm an employee. And then I'd pay taxes. And I don't pay taxes. And I don't save money. And I use debt to get rich. And I don't invest in the stock market. That's why I'm rich. And so the young people who are listening right now are saying, but that's what my mom and dad said. But that's what mom and dad say all over the world. I'm just saying, question the hypnotic trance put in your head, because that's what keeps people poor.
And I think that's the advantage young people have, and you know that because they haven't been brainwashed.
Oh, they have been brainwashed, but they have a chance to change the brainwashing.
They don't need to deny 30 years of their life, because if you've been doing a job and like if you're doing all those things and now Robert is going to say this, then I either can deny that or deny 30 years of my life.
The old guys like me, they get angry at me. So yeah, that's why you're poor.
Yeah.
The economy exists in here. If you get a job, you're an employee. If you save money, you're a saver. And why would you save money when they're printing money? And they say, invest in the stock market for your pension. Well, why would you do that? Because that's how they get your money. You have a chance.
And I start realizing that I've been brainwashed and there's no real reason I should get a job, I should do all these things. And I might be in a situation, because this is what most people do, they pay a lot of money for their education and they end it, and then there's no job waiting for them.
Because they learn nothing about money.
And they have the worst type of debt, which is student loan. So, and they're like 130,000 in debt. So how do you recommend, because most people are in that situation, and they're even more attuned to safety because now they have debt, so they're afraid. So what do you think that person should do? They've started to question their beliefs. They got it. They know, okay, I've been brainwashed.
The reporter is an A student, a smart guy with a job, and he just can't understand how Kushners, who are richer than the Trumps, Jewish family richer than the Trumps, how they get away with not paying taxes. And this reporter was going crazy. It's in the book, in Fake. He just couldn't understand it because he's been hypnotized. So it's a collision of ideas. So when I say I don't pay taxes, then this whole, you're cheating, you're a crook, you're a criminal comes up. If you had bought a ticket to get on the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
And you knew it was going to sink, what would you do?
Not buy the ticket.
Well, let's say you already bought the ticket.
Okay, I'll build the best boat to get out of it.
I would be getting ready to get off of it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I would be looking at life rafts and checking things out and things like that.
Yeah.
Because we're going down.
Yeah.
And this is the difference.
This has been amazing. So what do you think is there a chance for the education system of the future to actually create abundance, wealthy people, free people, and so on? Or should it be taken on to people like yourself that create kind of like private systems of education and spread the knowledge to people? What do you think about that?
Well, I'm doing it as private citizen, and I see outside the skill system. But if you look, I think you read this book, I think you'll notice something. It says fake money, fake teachers, fake assets.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. See, it's all one big system.
Yeah.
The only way they can pull off the fake money is by having fake teachers. And the only way you can buy fake assets is by having fake money and fake teachers.
So it's a very good reinforcing loop.
And that's why I'm just saying out here to the young people, question this, go to school, get a job, work hard, pay taxes, save money, get out of debt. Until that is questioned. And then ask the question, why would I be saying that at the risk of going to jail if it wasn't legal? That's the question. So guys, the rich get richer because what we do is legal, but you've been told it's illegal.
Amazing.
Say not paying taxes is legal if you're an entrepreneur, but it's illegal if you're an employee.
Okay.
They want the paycheck and they want the pension. But many people today don't have that choice. You know, if you lose your job, like my poor dad eventually lost his job. And then he realized going to school, getting a job didn't help him. He had a PhD. He didn't have the skills for the world. He stepped out of the academic world and onto the streets. You know, the cats ate him alive out there. Most school teachers cannot survive in the real world. Well, I think that's one of the biggest problems is that people, the word is called resilient.
So you might as well think of your conditioning and do the opposite, and you're probably better off.
If you know, like the greatest athlete in my time is Tiger Woods.
Well, he just won a championship again.
Yeah, but he went way up, and he came down as, you know, his wife caught him cheating. You know, everything, the humiliation, and especially as a black guy cheating on a white woman. I had so many women get so upset. How dare you cheat on a white woman? Well, he cheats. That's
not a thing to do in
yeah,
2014.
like, what difference does it make? I just crack up at people. And then his back goes out. He has surgery. And after this long down period, he comes roaring back up to the top. And if you've ever been to Augusta, the golf course where the Masters is played, that is the toughest golf course I have ever seen. I don't know how those guys play that course.
Yeah.
You have to be a mountain goat to play that course, you know. And these guys are taking shots from down here, the green's up here. You know, you have to know assets and liabilities, and the rich use debt as money. So the question is, that's what I had to do when I was in my 20s. That's a challenge, and the brain goes,
Because it doesn't make sense.
how is it the rich learn to use debt as money?
That you
You're a
cannot.
very smart young man. And then how do they not pay taxes? And what you'll find out in my new book, Fake, is the combination of debt and taxes. You see, the more debt I use, the less tax I pay. Well, you change those words. I wouldn't go to school because you learn nothing about money in school. I wouldn't get a job because if I have a job, I'm an employee. And then I'd pay taxes. And I don't pay taxes. And I don't save money. And I use debt to get rich. And I don't invest in the stock market. That's why I'm rich. And so the young people who are listening right now are saying, but that's what my mom and dad said. But that's what mom and dad say all over the world. So to the young people, I just say challenge or question what you've been taught. Because from the Bible, I'm not religious,
Yeah.
the word becomes flesh. So if you say, go to school, and you say, but I learned nothing about money. Get a job, you become an employee.
Yeah.
If you're an employee, you work for money. I pay taxes. Then they tell you to save money. Why would you save money when the government's printing money? You know, and get out of debt. Well, debt is money. I use debt to get rich. Most people use debt to get poor and invest in the stock market. So I took real estate courses, not because I like real estate, because real estate is about debt and taxes.
Right.
So the more debt I use, which is real money, debt is real money, the less tax I pay.
And especially with the interest rates right now, that have been lowest in the last 5,000 years or something like that.
Money is cheap right now, zero. Get it free.
Yeah.
Why would you save it?
So what are some of the other things, some key points that we could talk about from your new book? Because I know Rich Dad Poor Dad, you probably talked so much about that. It's a great book. I've read it when I was 15, and it's amazing that you've made accounting so interesting. It's like a combination between an amazing storyteller and accounting, which is not the combination you would think of. So
Right.
I think when I look at it, I think that's the reason it had so much success. Because people devoured it like a story, but it was accounting. So you tricked them.
You're a very smart young man.
Okay.
And that's why I have the best tax advisors. The biggest thing for most young people is that our schools teach us to be ICs, independent contractors.
Okay.
Or self-employed, or even if you're an employee, you're still an independent contractor who has a job. And you do it by yourself. You know, I think I think much of the young world is in the selfie world. You know, look at me, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me. Whereas in my world, it's a team sport. I'm a rugby player. It's like playing Monopoly, but what makes rich cash flow different than Monopoly is a financial statement.
Yeah.
Because your banker only wants to see your financial statement. Banker doesn't want your grades or what school you went to.
Yeah.
They want to know your financials. So when the markets crash, my financials are so strong, bankers threw money at me. And then you can question when somebody tells you to invest in the stock market, I go, well, when do I get my money back? So in fake, I talk about the infinite return. I never use my money. I don't need to save money. I use debt 100% of the time, and I don't pay taxes. So that's kind of what you find out in fake, you know, fake money, fake t-shirts, fake assets.